So welcome to my spoiler review of Frozen. If you haven't yet seen the film and you want to see the non-spoiler review, the traditional BTT review, you can click here on this annotation to check it out right now. Now, the reason I made this spoiler review, as I mentioned in my non-spoiler review, is because I seem to be one of the few people to dislike this film. Now, I don't know if this is an Emperor's New Clothes situation where all these critics just hedged their bets and decided that all fans would like it. And I think you'd have to be a really hardcore Disney fan to like Frozen, super hardcore. And even then, I think you'd be fooling yourself to not admit that it was majorly flawed. But I just wanted to go into a little more depth to kind of defend my position. So not only defend it, but to better explain it, so you can see where I'm coming from. So I'm kind of going to do it by characters because those seem to be the clearest points. The story is, I feel, so simple that it's hard to address it just on its own. So let's start off with Elsa, because she is the Snow Queen. First of all, if you've read Hans Christian Andersen's story, this is absolutely nothing to do with it at all. Elsa, it's on name only, really, and that's it. I think that Elsa is a character that we never really got to meet ever, so I can't really tell you anything about her. I can see why Idina Menzel didn't bother to try and show up to the premiere. I guess her excuse is that she's preparing a play for Broadway, but she's just in this film so little and has so little to do and she seems like she's not even in the right movie. I thought when she cast off her stuff to become more the Snow Queen, she just seemed so modern, and it was just such a quick transformation. I was like, what happened to her dress? She's not Jean Grey. She can't manipulate molecules. And also, for someone who never practiced with her powers, she was quite good. I mean, I don't know where she got this understanding of architecture. There was just a real lack of thinking anything through. Things just happened, which is sloppy storytelling in my opinion, because the filmmakers wanted them to. Also, I think that we never really understood her relationship with Anna. We never really saw it. We were just supposed to, the film basically said, they're sisters, they love each other, get on board. Instead of actually showing us some elements of that. I never understood why her secret had to be kept from her sister. I thought that was really like a silly obstacle that was put in the way. People make fun of Hollywood for that all the time, about just putting something in there that normal people would be like, this is stupid. I also felt that it made no sense that we didn't get, they missed a crucial opportunity, I felt, when their parents died, to show Elsa really losing it for the first time with her powers. I think they alluded to it by showing her on the other side of the door, but I was like, why would you show me Anna's side of the door, which is not very interesting, when apparently there's like some crazy ice storm going on the other side of the door, which I would really like to see. I mean, she has a visual power. This is a visual medium. Let's get to it. So you have a character that's not, and also I think Elsa's really hurt by being neither villain nor hero. She really is just a plot device and something for Anna to have to deal with. And it's just a shame. I think she's a non-character. She's a non-entity. And I thought her song "Let It Go" was okay. But it had that cute little catchphrase, which actually seemed kind of silly when you think of it in the context of what was going on. When she said, the cold never bothered me anyway. I was like, really? That's what you're going to focus on? That was a problem for me. And then also, at the end of the movie, she's supposed to be this very powerful being, and she just makes everyone be able to ice skate. I thought that was very bizarre. Now on to Anna, who I guess is, for all intents and purposes, our heroine. I really didn't like this character. She just also, by the way, seemed so much like Rapunzel in Tangled. They were like separated at birth. That's her real sister. Also, the character was just very, very, very dumb, I felt. I'm sorry, I can't think of a better word. I'm trying to be nice about it, but she was dumb. I thought that you can blame her parents, because I don't know why her parents didn't hire a tutor for her. I don't know why they just were like, you know what, one kid has these crazy powers, which, by the way, we're not even going to explain where they came from. We're just going to do a quick little, throwaway line to these trolls, which we're also not going to explain. But let's just lock these kids up in this castle when we really don't seem to have much of an empire anyway. But we're just going to lock them in here like prisoners with nothing to do. We're not even going to play with them ourselves. So I thought that was silly. And then I thought that this leap that she made to like, oh, I hope I fall in love tonight, just came out of nowhere and really made her character seem silly. It was such a bizarre thing for her. And they never even showed her focusing on love or reading a lot of romance novels or anything like that. So I thought that was very bizarre. And then when she drives off, so forget her stupidity of being engaged with somebody right away. Although I guess that's a commentary on Disney, romance that people often do get engaged right away after meeting each other. I believe that someone saves someone's life first, which kind of tends to cement the bond. But here they're just like, we had an awesome conversation. You're like the first cute guy I've ever seen. Let's get hitched. But my real problem was when she drove off to search for her sister. She was like, hey, Hans, guy I just met, you're in charge of the kingdom. I was like sitting there like, what? That's the dumbest idea I ever heard. What are you kidding me, Anna? Like, for instance, who ran the kingdom between their parents' death and Elsa's coronation? I believe they said it was 4 years. So where was that person? And why didn't that person step up and go, are you kidding me? And where were her advisors? It was like a play kingdom. It was like, oh, I'm the queen or the two princesses of a kingdom. That's all we need to say. And we have these servants who don't even have names or personalities. So that was very odd. Then let's go over to the guy she ends up with so obviously, Kristoff. I thought that Jonathan Groff did the best job here with his voice work, by the way. I thought he did a nice job. He has a very easygoing, nice quality to his voice. But first of all, Kristoff's insane. I think Anna has some bad choices. She should just keep looking. Because obviously Hans turned out to be evil. But I think that Kristoff, first of all, I didn't really get that he was an orphan, by the way. I was like, these trolls stole this kid. Because he was, at the beginning of the film, he's getting ice with these other guys, and I assumed that one of them was his father, and I assumed they knew he was around. So I can't believe that nobody in the village was like, hey, has anyone seen Kristoff and that little reindeer he hangs out with all the time? I don't know why they were able to just be taken by trolls. And it hasn't done Kristoff any favors, because he's crazy. I can't believe he only has trolls for friends. Who, by the way, are very pushy and not at all developed as characters. They were like Smurfs, but like the Sony Smurfs on the movies, not the cute, better developed television version or comic book. And then also talking to his reindeer was a really weird choice for him. I mean, it's nice that he would like his reindeer, Sven, but to make him be his only friend and that he actually talked for him, I was like, legitimately, you need to seek some help. And I don't think anybody would be like, that's my dream guy, or that's even my realistic dream guy. That's a problem. Also, a lot of you have commented, I've seen in below and for other trailers and stuff, that you don't like it when they make horses act like dogs. Well, you're not going to like this because Sven acts exactly like a dog, which I thought was very distracting. So that was a problem. Then there's Hans. Luckily for these two princesses, Hans is like the dumbest villain that ever lived. Who says, I'm going to leave you to die, go tell all your advisors you're dead, but I'm not going to make sure you're dead. I'm actually just going to lock you in a room in the very same palace that we're in, where someone could totally hear you from the hallway. I mean, what if the cleaning staff had come around or something? I mean, he doesn't know who could have come in. I mean, as it is, a snowman was able to pick the lock with his nose. So I just don't understand why Hans wouldn't take her out, leave her in the wilderness somewhere even, sit there and watch her die. He was just a really colossally stupid villain. Also, he paused forever with that sword over Elsa. He was like, I'm going to really relish this moment. I'm like, you're like 2 feet from her, and this character, Anna, who's like a good, 30 feet away, is able to close that distance and save her. It's like, he's just so stupid, and it was just ridiculous. And also, totally ineffective. I never felt that he posed a real threat to anyone. I never believed he was going to kill anyone. And also, at the end of the way that Anna is able to just punch him out, and she's like, I've got this, everyone. I'm like, really, Anna? You've got this? You are like the colossally stupid worst ruler ever. She's like, this is my special sister. And then just having her punch him out and everyone be like, wah, wah, good job, Anna, you showed him. I'm like, he's a potential murderer who tried to kill you and, played with your feelings and made you believe that you fell in love with him. Just dunking him in the water like this is like an I Love Lucy episode is ridiculous. All right, so that was annoying. Then there's Olaf, who I felt, actually, you know what I have to say? Because the rest of the movie was such a mess, he actually came off pretty good because you were like, wow, at least he's picking up the pace. But he comes in so late in the movie, you're just like, this is a weird tonal shift. And I think his song was okay the best. And I did like Kristoff being like, someone's got to tell him. And I was with Kristoff on that. I was like, you got to tell someone that what they wish is going to kill them. So I thought that was good. But he did also eventually get just annoying because he had no real purpose. His character didn't serve a purpose. And then, but I guess his purpose was to be like the snowman they created when they were little, and it shows that they still remembered it. It helped Anna to but she never remembered things because of that. That was just really weird. But let's talk about that big moment where they're like, it's not true love's first kiss. That's not the act of true love, but Anna saving Elsa. Now that was a really nice touch, I felt, and the way she turned into an ice sculpture was kind of cool. And I almost hoped that they would just leave her that way. I was like, that might redeem this movie somewhat. But I did like saying that the true act of love was for her sister. But it would have meant a lot more if we ever got, as I said in the beginning, a feeling of their friendship and got that bond. But I was like, you know what? You guys haven't seen each other basically for years. You're both weird shut-ins. I don't know, where is this love coming from? So I think that should have been played up more. And I think they also should have played up, I like some of the times they were touching on the fact that Anna had a real lack of self-worth because her sister was going to be queen and, she felt she wasn't as cool. And if she'd known about the powers, I think that would have helped really play that up. And that would have been an interesting thing to explore, how power, both in terms of royalty and also physical power or magical power, creates a rift between these sisters. That could have done it. They didn't have to come up with this crazy reason that why they couldn't talk to each other. I think that would have been a real legitimate reason, and exploring how that makes people feel and sometimes how people can sadly grow apart and how something can bring them back together would have been much more interesting. So I think Frozen is just a bunch of missed opportunities, but it's pretty to look at. Although I do think that the faces are odd to me. I feel like they're not as expressive, and they looked very pinched and doll-like as opposed to this 2D animated look that Disney pioneered, and that they can still do with, as we saw from Paper Man. So that's my spoiler review of Frozen. I hope you get a better understanding of why I disliked the film. Now that you've heard my reasons, what do you think? Has it changed your opinion at all? Or do you feel that I'm, again, missing something? Write your thoughts down below. Thanks for checking this out, and you can check out some more episodes right now.